TIFU by injecting my girlfriend with 5 doses of the COVID vaccine. This happened a few weeks ago. Quick background. I'm in my last year of pharmacy school. I'm currently bouncing around doing rotations. Free work. At different sites. Hospitals. Big pharma companies. Retail stores. Etc. This most recent rotation is in a grocery store pharmacy, where things have gotten pretty hectic with the CDC giving the okay for everyone to get COVID booster shots, which also happens to coincide with flu shot season. I'm pretty much just sticking people with needles all day every day. So my girlfriend needs her Pfizer booster shot for work, and wants me to give it to her. Cute, right? I tell her I'd be happy to. On this particular day, for whatever reason, we can't drive to the pharmacy together because our schedules don't line up. I have an obligation in the morning, so I end up arriving to the pharmacy in the early afternoon. And she arrives about 15 minutes after I do. On an average day, I'm usually the vaccine guy. I'm the guy that says hello at the window, updates your vaccine card, takes your insurance stuff, makes you wait 45 minutes. I promise I'm moving as fast as I can, and gives you the shot. So I'm used to handling the whole process step by step, at my own pace, being as organized as time allows. I like to set up my shit in the morning before we open, get all the paperwork in order, and have my ducks in a row before the day even starts. So I walk into the pharmacy in the early afternoon, and it's absolute unbridled chaos. People waiting for shots, knocking on the windows. Some lady pokes her head under the plexiglass, starts asking me about her Venlafax machine, etc., etc. I'm already flustered as hell and off my game because I had Cheryl waiting, who's getting her second Moderna shot, pneumonia shot, and shingles shot, and also has 3 other medications that need to be filled. And then we have Dave, who brought his 4 kids for flu shots, and also his great aunt who wants all 3 COVID shots at once, and has a bruise on her left arm, so she wants them in her rear. You get the point. The pharmacy is going to hell in a handbasket. 15 minutes later, my girlfriend walks in for her Pfizer booster. I'm very happy to see her, and I tell her that she can do some grocery shopping while she waits for me to get her paperwork together. As I'm rummaging through her paperwork, one of my coworkers opens the fridge, unbeknownst to me, pulls out an unopened vial of the Pfizer vaccine, and pops the cap. Some more background. The Pfizer COVID vaccine comes in multi-dose vials. There's a small amount of liquid in the vial, and you need to dilute it with normal saline before drawing up the vaccine into your syringe. Each vial has enough for 5 doses after dilution. Here's where I went wrong. I turn around to draw up her vaccine into the syringe, and see the opened Pfizer vial. My perceptive ass assumes that since the vial is opened with no cap, and has a very small amount of liquid in it, it must have been diluted with normal saline used, and there's only 1 more dose left. Again, with me being extremely insightful, I decide not to double-check or confirm with anyone around me, which would have taken about 1.5 seconds. Of course, in reality, the vial just hadn't been diluted yet, which is why there was so little liquid inside it. Everything else proceeds as usual. I give my girlfriend the shot, kiss the boo-boo, as I do with everyone, for professionalism's sake, and go back into the pharmacy. A few minutes later, my coworker asked me what happened to that new vial she just opened, and it begins to dawn on me that I may have just royally shat the bed. If you do the math with the dilution, I had just given my girlfriend 5 full doses of the COVID vaccine. 5. I just injected this poor 105 pounds girl with enough vaccine juice to get her through COVID-20. She was still grocery shopping. So I ran over to her, trying to hide the fact that I was shitting myself, and attempted to break the news in a somewhat non-panic inducing way. Something like, "Hey, so there was a bit of a dilution error on my part, and you may have received a bit more than intended?" She honestly took it really well. Just kinda went, "Okay. So what does this mean?" I told to her to expect a wee bit of arm soreness and fatigue, and she strolled away to finish shopping. So meanwhile, I rush back to the pharmacy and call Pfizer ASAP. Everything I've read, learned, and Googled has told me this isn't the hugest deal in the world. And it's not life-threatening or anything. But I just wanted to cover my bases. Call Pfizer and see if this has happened before, and what the outcome was. After being transferred 9 different times, I got a drug representative on the line. Apparently, in all the millions of Pfizer vaccines distributed worldwide, me and some dude in New Zealand are the only fucking idiots stupid enough to pull a stunt like this. According to the drug rep, severe arm soreness is really the only thing to watch out for. The rest of the day proceeded as usual, save for me being extremely shaken from the whole ordeal. The pharmacist had to fill out and submit an incident report, which ironically, I filled out for him since it was so busy lol. I realized it was probably going to turn out fine. But shit, what if that was a different drug where the concentration did really matter? Literally people can die from that shit. Or what if it was some random person instead of my girlfriend, and they sued the company into the ground? So my girlfriend, the real victim of this story, got a very sore arm that night. The next day, she felt like a train wreck and spent most of the day in bed. And you bet your ass I was waiting on her hand over foot. I was popping in the bedroom every 20 minutes to see if she needed anything. And after a few hours of that, told me to stop bothering her lol. She took it like a champ though. She was such a good sport about it. We joke that any virus just immediately dies upon entering a 20-foot radius of her. All things considered, the fuck up turned out the best it could. Nobody sued the company. My girlfriend didn't make me sleep on the couch. And I didn't get sent back to 10th grade science class to learn about liquid concentration. The silver lining is that in the future, I'm going to think about this situation every time I'm working around vials. And, hopefully, never make the same mistake again. TLD or didn't double-check that the vaccine vial had been diluted. Injected my girlfriend with a super serum. She didn't get any superpowers. Sounds to me like you should be marking the vials after they've been diluted. On the bright side, you're the second dummy in the whole world. Imagine what the first dummy felt when he found he was the first one rolling on the floor laughing. Thanks for the story. Experience, even bad experience, helps us grow. You are bold for sharing. So does she have 25G, or 3125G? Just an FYI op. Pharmacist here. You and some dude in New Zealand are maybe the only two who have reported it to TIFU. No need to fret. I have heard many stories very similar to this where a fellow pharmacist has done the same thing. To make this situation a bit better for you, I have nearly done the same things myself. Definitely crazy when you have to make sure the PT is in correct timeline to get the shot. What shot they're getting and if it's their first, second or booster. Fucking hell, the amount of times I've nearly given 0.5 of a Pfizer and 0.3 of a Moderna or had a tech accidentally switch up my syringes. Fun times in retail pharmacy. Venlafaxine as a antidepressant. Tears of joy died when I read Venlafax machine. You will probably never make that mistake again in the rest of your career. And your coworker also effed up. Nurse here. Any professional administering meds or injections knows you never move stuff on another station. Especially when you're prepping your meds. Coworker is a hole. They also could have said, here's a new vial. Our Pfizer vials are diluted to make up 6 doses. We always work with a partner because we cross-check each time we make up a dose. We also document the number of doses before we administer it. Nicely written. An old boss said, "Don't see problems as just problems. They are our best opportunity to identify faults and make things better." So here's a story that you'll definitely appreciate as an almost pharmacist. I'm a nurse, was working in the ed, and was precepting a new grad. The ed was incredibly busy and precepting sucked. Especially because the section we were in was the most acute, sickest patients. We had 2 really critical patients. Another patient that was prob BS because I don't remember them. And a chest pain patient that needed some nitro SL. Stood at the Pyxis explaining to this new grad, who was a few months in at this point, that you give 1 tab, wait 5 minutes, check BP and assess chest pain, and then give another tab if need be. Something critical happened with one of our acute patients and I had to run in there. But I felt confident she could handle giving SL nitro on her own. So asked her to go do that while I dealt with whatever was going on with the other patient. It takes me 10 to 15 minutes to settle whatever is going on. And as soon as I'm done I run into the chest pain room. I see 2 empty vials of nitro on the counter. Mentally shit myself. And then calmly turn around and tell the patient I need to check their BP while assessing the monitor. After seeing their vitals are stable, I find the nurse I'm precepting and ask her what the fuck. She says the tabs were so small she didn't think I meant 1 tab. And instead of verifying with any of the other nurses, she just took it upon herself to give a whole fucking vial of nitro to a patient. And then do it again in 5 minutes. Thankfully, the patient was okay. They wound up being admitted when they most likely were not going to be. And somehow by the grace of whatever deity they believe in, someone or something was watching over them. But holy shit. A little extra vaccine is okay. Woozy face tears of joy. A plug for our pharmacy for anyone who would like an idea of what goes on behind these counters to enable errors like these. So why was it left sitting there open and undiluted in the first place? Your coworker has to share the blame for this. Nice. So now she has a force field of immunity. The virus just bounces off. There was a story about CVS giving a 17-year-old a full vial of Pfizer about a few weeks ago. I know it wasn't the point. But I'm also on Effexor. Venlafaxine. And I will never not think of it as Venlafax machine now. That part made me actually laugh out loud. She should think about volunteering to have her antibody response observed just because there are so few cases like this. It may be they find some anecdotal evidence worth pursuing further, like her response fades slower over time or something. Dude. You cannot make assumptions about anything you're injecting into a patient. I really hope this is the one mistake you take huge lessons from. I'm shocked you don't have to mark it in some way when it's diluted. There should absolutely be a visual distinguishment. Hey, can you hook me up with a Pfizer Pentavax too?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.